No, I'm fine.
You sure?
Welcome to the channel. This is Vocab Waves.
Sometimes you are not quiet because you have nothing to say. Sometimes you stay quiet because your English still sounds too simple. And little by little, that starts hurting your confidence. Hey everyone, welcome back to Vocab Waves. I'm Adam, and if you ever feel nervous while speaking English, or if you feel like your English sounds too basic sometimes, trust me, you are definitely not alone.
And I'm Sara. And today's conversation is honestly very important because many English learners spend years studying grammar, but when they finally speak, their vocabulary still sounds very basic.
Yeah, and I think that slowly affects confidence too. Like, sometimes you know what you want to say in your mind, but the words coming out still sound too simple.
Exactly. And after some time, people start feeling less confident in conversations. Not because they are bad at English, but because they never upgraded the way they speak.
That's actually true. And today, we are not going to do a boring classroom lesson.
No difficult grammar, no complicated rules, just real vocabulary for real conversations.
And after every new phrase, we'll also show you how people use it in real-life situations. Because hearing natural examples is one of the fastest ways to improve your English.
Exactly. You should not only learn vocabulary, you should feel how people actually use it naturally.
All right, let's start with a very common sentence. I'm very busy. Honestly, I still use that sentence a lot.
And it's not wrong, but native English usually sounds more natural and emotional. Instead of saying, I'm very busy, you can say, I'm completely swamped right now.
Swamped. Wow, that sounds much more natural already.
Exactly, because natural English is not only about information, it's also about emotion and feeling.
Yeah, I'm very busy sounds flat, but I'm swamped sounds real.
Exactly. And now, let's hear how this sounds in a real-life situation.
Can you help me finish this report?
I'd love to help, but I'm completely swamped right now.
That example sounded very natural. And honestly, when people use vocabulary like that, they immediately sound more confident.
That's true. Sometimes small vocabulary changes make a very big difference in conversations.
Okay, this next sentence is very personal for me. I'm very tired. I used this sentence for years.
Most learners do. But instead of saying, I'm very tired, you can say, I'm absolutely exhausted.
Exhausted. That sounds so much more emotional.
Exactly. And emotional English sounds human. That's why natural speakers sound more interesting during conversations.
Yeah, sometimes basic English sounds too robotic.
Because there's no personality inside the sentence.
That actually makes sense.
And now, let's look at a real-life example where someone uses this naturally.
Long day at work again? I'm absolutely exhausted.
You know something interesting? A lot of people think confidence comes first. But honestly, sometimes better vocabulary comes first.
I completely agree, because when your vocabulary improves, your personality becomes clearer too.
All right, here's another sentence I used all the time. I'm interested.
And again, it's not wrong, but it sounds a little formal and basic in normal conversation. Instead, you can say, I'm really into it.
Wow, that sounds much smoother.
Exactly. For example, instead of saying, I'm interested in photography, you can say, I'm really into photography lately. That sounds much more natural.
Honestly, it sounds like a different person speaking.
Because vocabulary changes how people hear you.
And now, let's hear a real-life example for this one too.
You've been carrying that camera everywhere lately.
I'm really into street photography lately.
You know, there was a time when I avoided conversation sometimes because I felt like my English sounded too simple.
A lot of people feel like that, especially when they understand English well, but still cannot express themselves naturally.
Yeah, that feeling is honestly frustrating.
Okay, let's improve another common sentence. Instead of saying, I understand, try saying, that makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds much more natural in conversation.
Exactly. And native speakers use this phrase every day.
So instead of saying, I understand what you mean, I can simply say, yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly. Simple, but natural.
And honestly, natural English sounds more confident than difficult English.
That's absolutely true. And now, let's watch a real-life situation where someone uses this naturally.
If we divide the project equally, we can finish faster.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think many people misunderstand fluency. They think fluency means difficult vocabulary. But actually, most fluent people use simple words naturally.
Exactly. Fluency is not about sounding perfect. It's about sounding comfortable. All right, one last phrase before we continue. A lot of learners say, I'm nervous. But in natural conversation, you can say, I'm kind of anxious about it.
Kinda anxious about it. Yeah, that sounds very real.
Because that's how people actually speak in daily life.
And honestly, the more natural your English sounds, the more confident you feel inside conversations, too.
Exactly. And confidence changes everything.
You know what's sad? Many people spend years memorizing grammar rules, but never learn how real conversations actually sound.
And that's why this topic matters so much. Because better vocabulary is not about sounding fancy.
It's about finally sounding like yourself.
And in the next part, we're going to continue with even more natural expressions that instantly make your English sound more confident and fluent. Let's watch a real-life situation where someone uses this naturally.
You know, that last sentence really stayed in my mind. When your vocabulary starts matching your personality, things begin to change.
Because it's true. A lot of people are actually smart, funny, interesting, but their English still sounds too basic to show that personality properly.
Yeah, and after some time, people start becoming quieter in conversations. Not because they have nothing to say, but because expressing themselves feels difficult.
Exactly. And honestly, that feeling can slowly damage confidence, especially in social situations.
I think many English learners know that feeling. You want to sound relaxed and natural, but your brain keeps choosing very basic sentences.
And that's why natural vocabulary matters so much. Not to sound fancy, but to sound real.
All right, let's continue. A lot of learners say, let's do it.
And that sentence is completely okay. But in casual conversations, native speakers often say, I'm down.
Yeah, that sounds much more relaxed.
Exactly. For example, if your friend asks, do you want to grab coffee later? You can simply say, yeah, I'm down.
That sounds very smooth, actually. Simple, but natural.
And now, let's hear this expression in a real-life situation.
You want to grab ramen after class tonight?
Yeah, I'm down.
You know what's interesting? Natural English is usually not difficult English.
That's true. Most fluent people actually use simple vocabulary. They just use it naturally.
Honestly, that makes learning feel less scary. All right, next sentence. I'm very happy.
Instead of saying that, you can say, I'm genuinely thrilled.
Genuinely thrilled. Wow, that sounds much more emotional.
Exactly. And emotional vocabulary creates stronger conversations. People remember emotion more than grammar.
Yeah, I'm happy sounds normal, but I'm genuinely thrilled sounds personal.
Exactly. And now, let's look at a real-life example for this phrase.
I got the job offer this morning.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm genuinely thrilled right now.
I think this is why some people sound more interesting in conversations.
What do you mean?
Not because their English is perfect, but because their words carry more feeling.
Exactly. Natural English should feel human, not robotic.
Okay, here's another important one. A lot of learners say, I don't care.
And sometimes that can sound a little rude. Instead, you can say, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, that sounds calmer and more mature.
Exactly. And small changes like this make your English sound more socially natural.
Honestly, tone changes everything in conversations.
It really does. And now, let's see a real-life example of this expression.
I'm so sorry.
Hey, it doesn't bother me.
You know, when I first started learning English, I thought fluency meant using very difficult words.
Most learners think that.
But now I realize fluency is more about comfort, about sounding natural, about expressing emotion clearly.
Exactly. And that's why conversational vocabulary matters so much. All right, let's improve another common sentence. Instead of saying, calm down, try saying, take it easy.
That sounds much friendlier.
Exactly. Calm down sometimes sounds aggressive, but take it easy feels softer and warmer.
Yeah, I can actually imagine real people saying that naturally.
Exactly. And now, let's hear a real-life example.
I think I'm gonna fail.
Hey, take it easy.
Honestly, I really wish I learned conversational English earlier.
Why?
Because I wasted so much time trying to sound perfect, instead of trying to sound natural.
And honestly, that's one of the biggest mistakes learners make. Perfection is exhausting, but natural communication feels free.
All right, last expression for today. I'm improving.
Instead, you can say, I'm making real progress.
Wow, that sounds much more motivating.
Because it feels real. And confidence grows when you can actually feel your progress.
Yeah, sometimes people forget how far they've already come.
Exactly. Learning English is not about becoming perfect overnight. It's about improving little by little, conversation by conversation, day by day.
And honestly, if you continue learning natural English like this, there will come a moment when speaking English stops feeling stressful and starts feeling natural.
And that moment changes everything.
You know, today's topic was don't waste your time. And honestly, I think the real meaning is deeper than vocabulary.
Don't waste years hiding your personality behind basic English.
Because your thoughts deserve better words, your confidence deserves better expression, and your voice deserves to be heard clearly.
And remember, you do not need perfect English to sound confident. You just need natural English.
And if you want to keep improving your English naturally, through relaxing podcast conversations like this, subscribe to Vocab Waves.
We create these episodes to help you sound more natural, more confident, and more comfortable in real-life English conversations.
So if this episode helped you today, even a little, make sure you join us again.
Keep learning, keep speaking, and stop being afraid of sounding human while learning English.
We'll see you in the next episode. Bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye, everyone.